All right, so I've had a couple days now using the 4520N, mowing, flail mowing, tough cutting, doing a few different things. I wanted to give you my thoughts on it. My dad came down, I let him operate it for a while, and then I was on the 4500Y, and then we switched back and forth. We got to use them a little bit to see his thoughts. My dad prefers the diesel over the gas engine, and there was a couple reasons why, and I have to agree with him on that, but we're going to talk a little bit about it. Main differences between, like I said, I've done a video on the 4500Y compared to the Z, and I don't find the diesel that extremely underpowered at all. Hillsides, yeah, you're going to want to go with the gas. I've been told by enough people. I've yet to be able to do a hillside test with it yet, but for hillsides, you're going to probably run out of power, and you're going to need the gas engine, whether it be the Kawasaki or the Kubota. I do like storing larger quantities of diesel fuel better than gasoline. It stays longer, things like that. The fuel efficiency wasn't as good as what I was expecting. It's still better than the Z, but I guess I was figuring it was going to be more right at the diesel, and that wasn't the case, but it's still not bad. It's better, but I guess I was just figuring it was going to be a little better than what it was. Now, two main differences between the diesel. My dad noticed that he said the diesel was quieter to operate, and that is true. This engine is definitely a lot louder, so if you're going to be operating it for long times during the day and you don't need the extra power, maybe the diesel option is still the better one for you. It's not a big deal. I generally wear ear protection, but for doing these testing videos, I like to hear the tractor and just sort of listen to the engines while I do these to get a better feel and understanding of the workload being put underneath them. So wearing hearing protection, I guess the noise isn't really going to be an issue. The diesel is cooler to operate than the 4520N. There's a lot of heat coming off this engine, and I noticed flail mowing, lugging it. Just from your leg in here, I don't know if it's from the catalytic converter or just the exhaust getting hot, but you can definitely feel a lot more heat coming off this engine compared to the diesel. There's barely any heat at all. I mean, you don't even notice it. So other little advantage over a diesel compared to this engine, that's just things that I've noticed. As for the electronic fuel injection, I think it almost has more power than the Z. I know the numbers are exactly the same, horsepower, torque, etc. This just doesn't seem to bog down as quick, and it recovers more. So not 100% sure on if it's just the EFI or maybe it's my mind playing tricks on me because I'm using this and I know it's different. But to me, this almost seems like it has more power. It operates and performs better than the Z model. So now looking underneath the hoods, when you look at the D902, the diesel engine's pretty simple. There's really nothing to go wrong with that. It's mechanical. It's, like I said, no sensors, parts, anything of that nature. When you look under the hood of the 4520N, and this would be the same with the Kawasaki with the P model, with the fuel injection, you're going to have electronic components. There's a lot more sensors, and then you have like the sensors for the catalytic converter. You got all the wiring, the circuitry for the fuel injection itself. So whenever you add any of these components, there's always potential for a failure down the road. Now, that really doesn't worry me with the fuel injection part. I worry more about emissions stuff on a diesel than I would this. Electronic fuel injection has been around for years. I mean, cars have been using it for how long? Even most of your small engine manufacturers have been using it. Kubota is a really good, reputable company. They build quality products. I'm not concerned at all about having a giant failure rate, but there's always that potential that you may not be able to fix it yourself. So that's something to take into consideration. With that being said, carburetors are almost like points and condensers. It's old technology. They're getting phased out. No fumes came off this engine at all. Like my older Command series and older lawnmowers, when you mow with them, it's just, you can smell the raw gas and you stink, your clothes stink. No fumes while using this, even lugging it whatsoever. That was really enjoyable. And the diesel doesn't have a lot of smell to it, but when you're lugging it, you will get a little bit of that smoke, and you'll notice that. Really impressed with this engine, really loved it. I'm impressed with the whole 4520 itself. One more thing before I get done finishing this up. No matter which tractor you're considering, whether it's the 4520P, the Z, the N, the Y, I don't care. If you have your mind set on two, whether it's the diesel compared to the gas and you're not real sure, talk to your dealer. The Ventrac dealers are great. Have them bring out one of each to demo, because everybody's view on power is different. What I find powerful, you might find weak. And other things that people might find weak, I find powerful. So everyone's view on performance is different. So if you even have any second thoughts, bring one of each out, bring a mower, what you're doing, climb some hills and see. That way you know when you go to buy your Ventrac that you're making the exact decision on the best tractor that's going to work out best for you. That's the best advice I can give anyone. Just test them and see for yourself. But 4520N is not a disappointment. Really nice machine. These are starting to hit the dealers. Go ahead and check them out. And if you guys want to keep seeing more Ventrac content like this, go ahead and subscribe. Any ideas that you have, attachments or reviews you want to see, go ahead and submit it in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching.